One day, a man stepped into an elevator and greeted actress Eva Gabor warmly, as if they were old friends. Puzzled, she asked who he was, and his response left her utterly stunned. Eva Gabor was the embodiment of the classic mid-century Hollywood starlet: fame, fortune, beauty, and success, while also shaping what we now think of as modern celebrity culture. Born in Budapest in 1919 to Hungarian Jewish parents, drama seemed to follow her from the start. Are you curious? Right now, let's explore the story of Eva Gabor together. In the 1930s, the rising tensions in Europe forced her entire family to flee their homeland. They eventually found refuge in America, but tragically, some of Eva's older relatives, including her grandparents, lost their lives in the war. This was just the beginning of a complex family saga for Eva, as her mother, Jolie Gabor, harbored her own dreams of stardom. Married to Vilmos, a wealthy Hungarian army major, Eva grew up alongside her sisters, Magda and Zsa Zsa. However, as Jolie's aspirations faded with time, she turned her ambitions toward her daughters, putting intense pressure on them to fulfill her unrealized dreams. This pressure exacted a heavy psychological toll on all three sisters. It wasn't enough for Jolie that her daughters were pretty and stylish. They had to be the epitome of beauty and fashion. Eva and her sisters grew increasingly frustrated by their mother's unrealistic expectations. In fact, Jolie once shared in her autobiography that her daughter Magda was so large during her childhood that she felt embarrassed to be seen with her. Despite the mother's harsh methods, she did manage to achieve some results. At just 18, Eva caught the eye of Swedish osteopath Dr. Erik Drimmer and soon became his wife. This marriage marked a turning point, as Eva became the first in her family to immigrate to America, hoping to chase dreams of glamour and success. And she initially succeeded. Yet, all that sparkled wasn't really gold. From the start, her marriage faced challenges, with Eva later reflecting that she longed for children and a simple family life, but her husband disagreed. The situation worsened when Eva's family began to encroach on her new life in the U.S. Zsa Zsa, her middle sister, moved in with Eva and Drimmer, leading to chaos. Zsa Zsa resented her brother-in-law and even decided to take over the master bedroom. Ultimately, Eva's marriage to Drimmer lasted less than 5 years. When she filed for divorce, she acknowledged the cruelty in their relationship, but suspected that Zsa Zsa played a significant role in the split. Eva pointed out that despite her own perceived weakness, Zsa Zsa's influence was strong. Despite the turmoil, Eva quickly moved on from Drimmer after their divorce. Just over a year later, she married again, this time for financial security. Her second husband, Charles Isaacs, worked as an investment broker. While he provided the luxury lifestyle Eva had grown accustomed to, their marriage also proved to be troubled, ending in divorce after nearly 6 years, and thus, the saga of her love life continued, marked by a series of tumultuous unions. When Eva immigrated to the U.S., she set her sights on an acting career, especially given her lineage as Jolie's daughter. Despite arriving with only a basic grasp of English, she quickly landed a deal with Paramount Pictures. However, this marked just the beginning of a rocky journey. Paramount invested in her acting lessons, aiming to mold her into a leading lady. Her first role came in 1941 with the poorly made film Forced Landing, which she later described with disdain, suggesting it was a B picture for those too lazy to look further down the alphabet. Eva's next project was a different story altogether. In 1957, she scored a minor role in the comedy Don't Go Near the Water, featuring Glenn Ford. Set aboard a Navy ship during World War II, Eva portrayed the alluring Deborah Aldrich, a character who famously provided the ship with a mascot, her black lace panties. But Eva's big break was just around the corner. In 1965, she became widely recognized for her role as Lisa Douglas in the hit sitcom Green Acres, where she starred alongside Eddie Albert. Her character, a woman who traded her urban life for a rural existence, resonated with audiences, and they quickly became familiar with Eva and her eccentricities. Eva has shown her diva personality, which is clearly demonstrated through her daily habit of spraying perfume on herself. However, this obsession had an unexpected consequence. A cow named Eleanor, featured in Green Acres, turned out to be allergic to the scent. Every time she arrived on set, the cow would have a reaction. While the show crafted most character backgrounds, the writers drew inspiration from Eva's life for Lisa Douglas, likely to explain her Hungarian accent. The series revealed that, like Eva, Lisa was the daughter of a Hungarian Army veteran, one of 3 sisters, and grew up in a middle-class Budapest family. Eva also made television history alongside her on-screen husband by being part of one of the first live-action couples to share a bed on screen. Breaking the conservative norms of the 1960s, Eva certainly brought the glamour. However, despite the acclaim for her performance, she never received an award for her role in Green Acres. The only accolade from the show came in 1967 when Arnold the Pig won for Best Performance by an Animal. This sparked a bizarre rumor that the cast celebrated the show's conclusion by feasting on Arnold. It turned out that cast member Tony Lester had fabricated that tale, tired of incessant questions about the pig's fate. Critics often dismissed Green Acres as frivolous, but Eva treasured her time on the series. It granted her a fame distinct from her family name, an achievement she earned through her own talent. She later reflected fondly on her experience, calling it the best 6 years of her life, claiming she adored every moment. Unfortunately, the show was canceled in the 1970s as part of a so-called rural purge on television. Despite its popularity, network executives sought to attract a younger, urban audience, leading to the cancellation of any show that featured trees. When things got worse, Eva had to face even bigger problems. Although she was the first Gabor sister to make a name for herself, her older sister Zsa Zsa quickly overshadowed her, not through acting, but by making headlines with her outrageous comments on talk shows in Los Angeles. Suddenly, Eva found herself labeled as the other Gabor sister, and that stung. She had spent a grueling decade building her career on the East Coast, only to arrive in Hollywood and discover that Zsa Zsa had already stolen the spotlight. Eva remembered feeling invisible, everyone asking, "Where's Zsa Zsa?" That realization hit her hard. The sibling rivalry didn't end there. Since childhood, comparisons between the sisters had been inevitable. Zsa Zsa was the family's beauty, Magda was the brainy one, and Eva was often seen as the less attractive sister, albeit one with a vibrant personality. These constant comparisons irritated Eva for years, especially as Zsa Zsa's fame skyrocketed. Even though Eva claimed she wasn't bothered by her sister's success, her words sometimes hinted otherwise. The sisters would often banter in the media, and Eva once pointed out that she was the first actress in the family, a title she still held. However, Eva had her limits when it came to competing with Zsa Zsa. Known for her sharp wit, she still earned the reputation of being the nice sister in Hollywood. Media mogul Merv Griffin recalled a dinner where Zsa Zsa complained that Eva's meal looked more appetizing than hers. Without hesitation, Eva offered her plate to her sister. After her second marriage to Charles Isaacs ended, Eva took a 6-year break from tying the knot, an eternity for her. Her third husband, John Elbert Williams, was a plastic surgeon, much like her first husband, but this marriage was even shorter, lasting just 6 months. Not one to dwell on the past, Eva married for the 4th time 2 years later to Richard Brown, a textile manufacturer. They had only known each other for 9 months, and after a quick proposal, they wed just 2 hours later. The wedding was so last minute that Eva's sisters couldn't even make it. Surprisingly, despite their rushed start, this marriage turned out to be her longest, lasting nearly 14 years. It was also the first time Eva, her mother, and her 2 sisters were all married simultaneously. But as fate would have it, good things often come to an end, especially for Eva. After her divorce from Richard Brown in 1973, she jumped back into the dating pool. Just 3 months later, she married aerospace executive Frank Jameson, stepping into a life of luxury once again. This marriage lasted a decade, after which Eva decided she wouldn't walk down the aisle again. Eva never let her past stop her from seeking love. After her last marriage, she started a long-term relationship with TV producer Merv Griffin, known for creating popular shows like Jeopardy! And Wheel of Fortune. This partnership lasted nearly until her last days. While they often appeared together in public, they never walked down the aisle. The couple frequently discussed marriage and even picked out a matron of honor, Nancy Reagan, a close friend of Griffin's. Yet for reasons that Eva kept to herself, the wedding never happened. Griffin later mentioned that their disagreements played a significant role in their decision not to marry, particularly about where to live and which of Eva's staff to keep. There were also whispers suggesting a more scandalous reason behind their avoidance of marriage. After Griffin's death, rumors circulated that Eva had acted as his beard, a term for a woman who helps conceal a man's sexual orientation, implying that their relationship was more platonic than romantic. Regardless of the speculation, it was clear that Eva held deep affection for Merv, and he admired her wit and talent just as much. Eva embraced her role as a loving stepmother to the children of her fifth husband, Frank Jameson. During a dinner with Merv Griffin, she humorously remarked that her stepchildren loved her more than her own kids, though Griffin quickly pointed out that she didn't have any biological children. Eva simply acknowledged the truth of the matter. In 1989, Eva's sister Zsa Zsa found herself in a heap of trouble. At 72, she was pulled over for a traffic violation and ended up slapping the officer. The media had a field day with what they dubbed the slap heard around the world, especially after it was revealed that Zsa Zsa had been drinking and was driving without a license. The media frenzy surrounding Zsa Zsa's trial forced Eva into hiding. She rarely left her Bel Air mansion and avoided public appearances. Although she and Zsa Zsa stayed in touch during the trial, Eva refused to discuss the incident. Ironically, Eva wasn't without her own run-ins with the law. At 69, she was stopped for a traffic violation, and as her friend urged her to stay quiet, Eva ducked down to avoid being seen. Unfortunately, the officer recognized her and approached her window. Eva later admitted she was just relieved he hadn't confused her with Zsa Zsa, saying all I could think was thank God. This confusion was common, as Eva and Zsa Zsa were often mistaken for each other, leading to a running joke in the media. Zsa Zsa once claimed that Johnny Carson tried to meet her secretly at a Beverly Hills hotel, to which Carson humorously responded on his show, suggesting Zsa Zsa had mixed herself up with Eva. Following Zsa Zsa's incident, the press began labeling Eva as the good Gabor, or more derogatorily, the other Gabor. While Eva sometimes appreciated the positive spin, she also found the label boring. Despite rumors that they couldn't be in the same room, Eva consistently denied any rift, claiming they spoke daily. However, a close confidant revealed that their relationship was often tumultuous, with Merv Griffin noting that while they communicated frequently when things were good, they also had periods of silence that could last a week or more. During Zsa Zsa's trial, Eva found herself unexpectedly in the headlines. News outlets reported that she was suing Ralph's grocery store after a slip-and-fall incident. Friends began bombarding her with calls, concerned about her well-being, but Eva was baffled, having no clue about any such incident. It turned out that another Eva Gabor was behind the lawsuit, but because of Zsa Zsa's legal issues, many connected the dots and assumed there was yet another scandal brewing in Hollywood. Eva took the mix-up in stride, displaying her characteristic humor. Despite living in America for most of their lives, Eva and her sisters never lost their Hungarian accents. They had a charming way of addressing everyone as darling, a term that became part of their signature style. Eva embraced her Hungarian heritage wholeheartedly, viewing it as a unique asset. Her friend Merv Griffin often joked that she should consider hiring a pronunciation coach to sound more American. But Eva always dismissed the idea, insisting that her accent was integral to her identity and career. The Gabor sisters were pioneers of modern celebrity culture. While we often take celebrity status for granted today, It was a novel concept during Eva's era. They were among the first to have their personal lives scrutinized by gossip columnists, gaining fame not just for their work but for their lifestyles. Eva made it a point to always appear glamorous, refusing to answer the door for deliveries unless she was fully made up. Age was a topic Eva and her sisters skillfully dodged, often obscuring or outright lying about their birth dates. Nevertheless, Eva and Zsa Zsa frequently claimed to be younger than their actual ages. This family tradition of concealing their ages continued even after death, as Eva's tombstone notably lacks a birth date. Eva's love for animals was genuine and profound. In 1969, when her dog gave birth to a male and female puppy, she noticed the male was struggling to breathe. Without hesitation, she sprang into action, using a hose to clear his throat and bringing him back to life. She named him Oliver. The Gabor sisters collectively had an astonishing 20 husbands. Magda married 6 times, while Zsa Zsa took the lead with 9. Eva had 5 husbands, but famously remarked that marriage was too intriguing an experiment to try only once or twice. Her romantic escapades extended beyond marriage. She was rumored to have had numerous affairs throughout her life, some between marriages and others during them. Notable figures like Frank Sinatra, Tyrone Power, and Glenn Ford were said to have fallen under her spell. In 1966, during an episode of The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, Eva Gabor charmed Carson into playing a game live on air, much to the audience's delight. That game was Twisters, and it's believed that this segment played a crucial role in saving Twister from being pulled off the market due to poor sales. Though Eva was the youngest of her sisters, she was the first to pass away after a tragic incident in a bathtub while vacationing in Mexico. After returning to Los Angeles, she developed pneumonia, and her health deteriorated rapidly. On Independence Day in 1995, she sadly passed away at the age of 76. The captivating public image of Eva stands in stark contrast to her daily struggles, as evidenced by a remarkable encounter later in her life. One day, a man greeted her in an elevator, prompting her to ask if she knew him. The man, Dr. John Elbert Williams, reminded her that he was her 3rd husband. Eva had been married 5 times, but she often joked that the count felt more like 4.5, hinting at one marriage that she considered a rebound. She never disclosed which husband that was, but it's easy to guess it might have been the one she didn't recognize in the elevator. That wraps up our video on Eva Gabor. If you enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'll be back soon with a new video on another fascinating historical figure.